What's up? Like totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my girlfriend, Carol, fiance Carol.
What the hell?
Significant other Carol.
We're getting married in like 3 weeks.
How are you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week so far.
Could go downhill pretty fast.
It is January 15th, 1999, and we watched 90210. We had a reunion of sorts for the episode Reunion.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see Andrea again.
Andrea's back!
That's really the only reunion.
Yeah, well, because it's their...
They've all stayed in touch otherwise. Well,
Yeah.
and Brenda didn't come. And
Brenda didn't come, and neither
Dylan.
did Dylan, Jason Priestley.
Yeah.
Well, no, what's his name? The fuck is his name?
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
I don't know why.
He didn't come either. The two of them were in London or Paris or wherever the fuck they are, being together and written off the show. She's too busy being on Charmed, and he's too busy, I don't know, failing in movies.
Yeah.
But-
Unfortunately.
But yeah, they weren't there. But Andrea came back after her failed talk show.
She looks even older now than she did when she left the show.
Yeah,
It's not good.
the best acting I think of anyone ever on the show is when Jason Priestley said with a straight face, "Andrea, you're 22."
Oh my god.
And she said something like, "I feel like I'm 42" or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, yeah, that's what it looks like.
I think she literally said, "No, I'm 42."
Right.
Like, as though it's a statement of fact, and I feel like it is.
I don't know if she's exactly 42,
I know she's
but-
not 42.
But she's significantly older.
I
than the
think
rest
she's
of the
in
cast.
her 30s.
She has to be.
I mean,
The rest of them are in their 20s.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she's a good 5 to 7 years older than the rest of the cast.
Yeah. I think she might be 10 years older than them.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, reunion. This is all about their high school reunion. Who has a 5-year reunion?
I didn't know that was a thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that is a thing.
You know what I think? I think the show doesn't feel confident that they're going to make it to 10 years or whatever.
Well, I don't think they would either because it said on the board at the end of the stage at the end of the episode or the end of the reunion, see you in 2003 because they're the class of 1993. But that was 3 years into the show, so the show would have to go 13 years for them to have a 10-year reunion. And I don't think
so.
That's a long time for a show to go.
It is.
Like, they're on season 8. They're I think they just started season 9 or whatever they started at season 9 last year, September of 98. So right now, as we're trying to catch up, season 9 is airing.
Yeah.
We're almost done with season 8, so we'll get to season 9. And then hopefully we should catch up sometime around the summer.
But yeah, so I think they just wanted to get a reunion episode in.
I guess, but it's like, I don't know, it's weird. We don't see a lot of like people from the high school days though. Like there wasn't a lot of people back.
Yeah.
There were stories that were like, "Oh, you remember me?" And it's like, are we supposed to?
Well, I did recognize the guy that, traumatized Kelly her freshman year of high school.
Yeah, I did kind of recognize him too. Ross Weber. Or
Yeah.
something like
Asshole.
that. Yeah. Complete asshole.
But yeah, he was like one of the only ones that I feel like there were others, but like I was thinking to myself, like David's friend. But first of all, he's dead, and he wouldn't have been in their graduating class anyway.
No.
So,
But this episode's all about lies. Mm-hmm. People telling lies and being who you're not. And being who you are versus being who you're not and all that stuff.
and Valerie is so incredibly insecure that she has to lie. All the
she
time.
makes up an entire persona for herself.
It's kind of
She's
disgusting.
Doing charity work, and so it's disgusting how bad she is at it and how overboard she goes. It wouldn't be so disgusting if she was just like, yeah, I like whatever. I work with a local charity, and that's it. You know, like that's my job. I work with a local charity. We help kids. Blah blah blah. I met David through our mutual friend Brandon. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, that's the truth.
yeah, but she doesn't work with a charity.
No, but meeting him instead of meeting him when he was on tour in Tokyo,
Yeah,
that's dumb.
he was on tour in Japan at some point with Babyface.
Was he in Japan though?
I think so. I think they went to because didn't they when they did that whole like fucking stupid summer catch up? Hey, I went on tour with Babyface and they showed a bunch
And
of
got crabs.
Yeah, showed a bunch of pictures and stuff like that. Didn't they show like a picture from Japan with these like Asian girls like we love David Silver or whatever, and it's like
I don't know.
Babyface thought I was getting too big or something, and then like he dropped me.
Yeah, it's weird because he's acting like he has no music career anymore, but he did have like a career before.
Yeah, he toured with Babyface. He has a #1 song on the radio, but he's all down in the mouth because he's like, oh, I'm not a big rock star, though. All that's happening is I'm making a living writing music.
Because I make jingles, yeah.
But it's for commercials. Jingle writing can be very lucrative.
Yeah. He's an idiot.
He is. Like, he's so... And if he wants to be a rock star so bad, why don't you just, write your jingles, make money, and try to do something in music?
Yeah, well,
how do you not have connections at this point?
He walked away. He chose to walk away from it.
Yeah.
So, stop whining.
Yeah, I don't know, he pisses me off.
And Valerie, is pretending like he's a bigger rock star or whatever than he is.
Well, yeah, she just keeps making more and more outlandish lies about him.
And that's gotta hurt his feelings. Like, he's already insecure about where his music career is, and then for her to be pretending like he's more, that makes it seem like he's not good enough.
And here's the thing. It's one thing to lie to the faceless rabble at the reunion, but to lie to Andrea.
Yeah.
Like, when everyone else in that friend group knows the truth.
Yeah.
That's
That's
dumb.
stupid. Yeah. Did she ever meet Andrea? I think that they're...
This is the first time they're meeting, I believe.
That's why to her she is the faceless rabble, I guess.
I guess.
But yeah, so that's basically...
That's their storyline.
Well,
they lie.
David is performing.
Yeah.
So that he didn't even want to go to the reunion, and now he's performing at the reunion.
It's hard to do storyline by storyline because everything is so intertwined because it's all taking place at this reunion.
Yeah, it's all about the reunion. Steve is trying to find a date for the reunion.
He's going through the tiniest little black book
It's
I have
literally a little
ever
black book.
seen in my life. It's like a little black book for a Ken doll.
It's hilarious.
It's like he could open and close it with his thumb and forefinger. Like, I don't like this. I've never seen a address book this small.
Yeah.
How tiny is the writing in this?
It is small.
It looks like a mouse's sex book.
A mouse's sex book. Yeah. Brandon was funny though when he's looking at his little black book and Brandon looks over his shoulder and goes, "Why is my number in there?"
Yeah.
That was cute.
That seemed very much like an ad lib, but it was very funny.
It probably was, yeah.
You know what? They don't do that in this episode, but you know what I find so dumb? So, whether it's Sam Malone in Cheers or, I don't know, like a bunch of other shows, there's a character that's, like a whatever sex god or whatever, that has a little black book of all his conquests, all the women and everything, right? And in many shows, there's this like a scene where he's like, I'm hanging it up. I am not a bachelor anymore. I'm gonna get married or whatever. Here's my little black book, and he gives it to someone, right? What is that? What's that supposed to do? Like, you don't call someone and like, hey, you're in this black book. Oh, I'm gonna fuck you then because I'm I'm in the book. All you have to do is use that phone number, like Like every slut in the entire metro area has their regular phone, and then just a red phone that just like lights up when the number in the book is called. It's like, hello, sex. It's so dumb. Like
it is.
They wanted to have sex with that guy, not any guy that calls them from this book.
Exactly.
So it's like, but they treat it like it's some kind of power or something. Here's the book. I'm unlocking the keys for you. Like, no.
I mean, I guess they figure they're more likely to get to have sex with these women if the other dude had sex with them. But yeah, it doesn't mean
But
that.
it's like, if you're going to have sex with Ted Danson, Sam Malone, right? Like, charming, handsome Sam Malone, you know, the same woman that's going to have sex with that guy is not going to have sex with Woody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's usually the case. It's like some dorky friend or something like that. Here you go. Here's the book.
Yeah.
So at least they don't do that. He just throws it away.
And then
he throws it away and a cricket takes it.
Right. And then Janet, the secretary, pops up and says, I'll go with you.
Yeah. Because last episode, she was like holding his hand and, you know, someone in this office really loves you or whatever, and it's not Brandon, and he still didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. He seemed like he might not have gotten it. We weren't sure. This episode, he definitely didn't get it.
God, he is taking Dumb Blonde to a whole new level.
And so he's like, yeah, sure, you can come with me. That works, you know, whatever.
Yeah. And she's like, it's a date or whatever. It's a real date.
And he looks terrified, and he's like, yeah, it's a real date. Like, the look on his face says everything, though. Like, she's being a little stupid, too.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I guess he doesn't like her that way.
I guess not. I mean, that's what it seems like. But then it...
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, I just don't know what to wear. And, like, she's all worried about it. And he picks her up, and he's like, oh, you look great. And he didn't show up with a corsage. He shows up with a bouquet of the cheap flowers. What are they called?
Daisies?
Carnations.
Carnations, okay. Those
Like,
are cheap.
they're filler flowers. You don't have a bouquet of carnations. You generally have them with something else.
No, yeah. Or in a white sport coat.
As a boutonniere?
You don't know that song? No. A white sport coat and a pink carnation.
As a boutonniere, though.
I'm all alone. Yeah.
I'm sure. Just saying.
It's a song from like the 40s.
Right. But she looks a little offended, but whatever. Like, I wouldn't expect a man to show up with a corsage as an adult.
For a 5-year reunion?
Yeah. Like, it's one thing when you're in high school and it's like a high school dance, but that's not what this is.
But they're all 22 or 23. So.
Yeah. And then she carries the fucking bouquet with them. Like, why didn't she put that in water?
I don't know.
That
Why
was
didn't she
weird.
throw it in the garbage?
Throw it in his face. Whatever.
Right?
Then they get there, and this blonde girl is hitting on him. Like, they're getting their picture taken, and she just walks into the picture.
Yeah. What a bitch, by the way. Like, who just walks in the middle of a picture?
Yeah. And then she ignores her and, like, is hitting on him and talking about how good he looks. And she gets the shower room key.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
Did she suck the janitor's dick? Like, what happened off screen? That had to be a whole movie.
Seriously.
And she's like, meet me in 30 minutes.
She hired Ethan Hunt to get it for her.
Who's that?
Mission Impossible guy.
Ah.
Tom Cruise.
Okay. And then he ignores Janet. He's flirting with this girl in front of her.
It's clear he doesn't remember her exactly because she's like, yeah, we had biology together or whatever. He's like, biology. She's like, yeah, the frog incident. You had to take me to the nurse. And he's like, frog incident? Like, you know, you can see he's like, he's not quite sure.
Yeah.
And I knew the entire time. I'm like, he ditches Janet to go to the boys' locker room because she's like, yeah, we're going to take a shower together. And fuck.
Yeah.
Right in the school. Like, first of all, you guys have homes or like, you know, a hotel room or something. Like, why would you have sex in the whatever in the boys' locker room? What a fantasy. But second of all, I was like, yeah, this is a prank. Like, I only cottoned on at the end that maybe he fucked her over in some way. But the whole time I was thinking, yeah, she's just working with some dude to play a prank on him. Like, he always pranks people. Like, I just I thought he was, but yeah, but he falls for it.
She writes in red lipstick, Steve, lather up and, wait for me or whatever.
Yeah, by the way, like, does she think his dick is dirty? Like, who gets all, like, showered and, like, lathered up with soap? And she bought soap and left it there. She had to have. But who gets all lathered up before sex?
I don't know. I mean, if you're in the shower, why not?
I guess, but yeah, it's weird. The whole thing's weird. But yeah, she's like, get soaped up and get ready for me.
And
so
then
he does.
And then she comes in and she's like, you used to call me
Gomer.
What the fuck? What is that, Gomer?
It's like Gomer Pyle, I guess. It's like just means like an idiot.
Or but isn't that a boy's name? And she's like, I didn't have any boobs.
Yeah, I don't know why you would call a girl Gomer. That's not really like a insult to a woman. It's more of an insult to a guy, but
I feel like he was calling her a boy's name because she didn't have boobs, was the implication.
Maybe.
She's like, but I grew up, didn't I?
She had boobs. Obviously, I'm sure she did. They were probably just very small.
Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, she steals his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And he is...
She leaves him his shoes.
Yeah, that is true.
And a tiny, tiny towel for his tiny dick.
Well, it can't be that tiny.
Why?
Well, the reaction that it gets.
That's true.
Because he's trying to sneak through backstage. I don't understand that. That's so stupid.
Let me get on the stage.
Like, who would do this? Yeah, so he's like right center stage when they lift the curtain.
Why do they lift the curtain?
No reason whatsoever. Just for this.
So, yeah, and then everyone's like, oh my God, and he's got the towel over his dick.
And he screams like a little girl.
And everyone's like laughing and stuff like that. And then they kind of start cheering. And then you can see he gets like this pride on his face. Like, yeah, people are fucking cheering for me or whatever. And so then he takes the towel off his dick and exposes his dick.
He should get like charged for indecent exposure.
And everyone's like, yeah! You know, they all like cheer and shit like that. Even Noah was like, I don't know if you saw his face, but even Noah was like, impressive.
I did not see his face.
But yeah, so like then they drop the balloons and he's like, he marches off all satisfied and everything. Two things. One, we didn't get to see the reaction of the girl that pranked him because obviously that's like
we did.
That's kind of in her face, isn't it?
She was there. She looked pissed.
She was there. Oh, did she look pissed?
She looked pissed and she threw his clothes down on the floor and turned around and marched out.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't see that. I saw her there and like being like, yeah, gotcha. You know, like kind of that's what the look said to me. But I didn't really see like the change. But okay, I'll give it to you. I was, I was mesmerized by his penis or something.
I think she was irritated that it ended up not, embarrassing him.
Well, it should. And two, how did he get home?
What do you mean?
It's one thing to fucking be... Oh, because she threw the clothes down.
Yeah.
So he must have grabbed them.
I would assume.
Because I was thinking like, like it's one thing to, show your dick to your 5-year reunion classmates, but to get into a cab or whatever,
right?
Naked is not, that's not going to work out for you.
So then at the end of the episode, he shows up.
At the end of let's be clear. At the end of the episode, we enter not only a different episode, we enter a completely different TV show. Like, this isn't 90210 anymore.
Right.
This is such a enormous emotional change. Like, the lighting's different. I think they changed directors. Like, this is a different show, this last scene.
It's weird. But yeah, he goes to Janet's house. And her mother's house. I guess she lives with her mother.
Does she?
That's what he said. He's picking her up from her mom's.
Oh, okay.
And he has a corsage.
Oh, she is Asian, vaguely. She's some vague flavor of Asian. So, they tend to live with their parents for a while.
Okay. Thank you for stereotypical Asian information.
She helps him with math, too.
Mm-hmm. So... he has a corsage, and he looks like a sad puppy. He almost has tears in his eyes.
I mean, it's crazy.
He just looks like just wrecked emotionally.
Yeah, like he looks like he just watched his mother kill herself.
And he's like, I got you a corsage. Mm-hmm. Do you know how hard it is to get a corsage at 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah, you got to go all the way downtown.
To the flower area.
What is there a famous flower area in Los Angeles?
What the fuck is he talking? And even if there was, they're not going to be open at 3:30 in the morning.
She's like, Steve, they call that the graveyard. The flower area.
Ridiculous. And he's like, I'd like to take you out again.
Yeah, you have to really care about somebody to do that, or messed up really bad. Can we? And like the way he plays it, like I can't believe they filmed this, edited it, and allowed this to air.
Yeah,
because it's bad.
It's ridiculous.
But he's like, he's talking like this. This is I'm being emotional. Like Ian Ziering cannot do this emotional range.
No,
He's
sorry.
Like, can we try again? And she has a single tear traced down her cheek.
Yep. And she's like, I don't think that'd be such a good idea.
But I'll see you at work on Monday.
Like, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He tried to fuck someone else on their date.
Yes.
Which, by the way, during this time, before he actually went to the locker room to fuck her, Janet had said to him, I thought you said this was a real date.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's a real date, but not a real date.
Right. Not a real date.
Not a real date. And she stormed off and left. Mm-hmm. He had already upset her enough that she left.
And instead of following her, he
Yeah.
went to go fuck this other chick.
So he waits till 3:30 in the morning to try to make it right.
Yeah. No shit.
Fuck you, Steve.
Which is essentially what she says.
Ow. Sorry.
You're in pain from it.
It was painful to watch. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, I mean, I hope they don't get together. Because
I really just want them to drop the storyline.
I just don't think that it will work. And if it does, it shouldn't. And it's just another unrealistic thing.
It's just stupid. They need to find someone for Steve. Someone either on his level, so like really dumb and whatever, like just a float through life kind of person, or someone very smart that can control him and just tell
Like
him
Claire.
and just tell him what to do. Yeah,
Claire was good for him. I wish that Claire had... I mean, until
Claire
the
was
end when
good.
they turned her into a bitch.
Yeah, they've really turned her into a terrible person.
But,
They
like,
destroyed her character.
original Claire was good for him.
Original recipe Claire.
Yeah.
Is what he needs. Not this new flavor Claire. We need to go back to Claire Classic.
Exactly.
Like when they had New Coke. And Coca-Cola Classic.
So then we have, as we mentioned, Andrea comes in for the reunion.
Andrea.
And Brandon picks her up from the airport. I think Kelly was there too.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were both there.
And we see her on the phone yelling and crying.
At
Jessie.
Jessie, who does not make an appearance.
Yeah.
Name only.
She's like, it's
Did you
not
notice-
my fault that you didn't make partner.
Right. Did you notice that he doesn't even appear in the picture? So they don't.
Oh, no. So they
don't
didn't
have
get
to
him
pay
at
him.
all. Yeah.
They don't have to pay him because he doesn't appear.
Makes sense. But then she pretends like everything's cool.
And pretends that he made partner.
Yeah. She's like, oh, Jessie just made partner.
Yeah, great.
And Brandon looks at her and he's like, you look like you were just crying. She's like, oh, just happy to see you. Mm-hmm. Liar.
Exactly. Like I said, lies in this episode.
This whole episode is lies, yes. But we do find out pretty quickly that she's getting a divorce.
Yep.
And for some reason, the fact that she's getting a divorce makes her not want to give a speech at the reunion. I don't know why she would have to discuss her marriage in any way.
Yeah, no shit. It's a speech, not a questionnaire.
Although she also dropped out of med school, so she
Yeah.
probably doesn't want to say anything about her career either, and that does uncheck a lot of boxes.
Yeah, what is she doing?
She's
just-
trying to keep her marriage together and just gave that up, so nothing.
Yeah, I guess.
Being a mom.
Yep.
But she said she dropped out to try to save her marriage and, focus on
family,
her
yeah.
child, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hate what they've done with her character because like she had all the promise in the world and like she just flushed it down the drain, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't do it. The writers did it, but anyway, yeah. So she doesn't want to give the speech, but Brandon is being like a complete asshole. Like they go running together and they're like talking and everything, and he's like, "Why don't you try counseling?" We did. Why don't you fucking do this? Like, you know,
Do a trial separation.
Why don't you do this? And she's like, "Do you think that I'm just being flippant about this?" And she was like, "Well, I'm just thinking about Hannah." And she's like, "What the fuck you think I'm thinking about?"
Right.
Like, stay out of her fucking personal life. She can handle her shit.
Just listen to her. He's
Exactly.
no good at that. Neither him or Kelly. They both have to try to fix everything.
Yeah, they're meddlers.
But yeah, so thankfully, you know, she's probably only here for the one episode, and he didn't actually affect anything in her life. He's just an asshole.
Right. He ends up giving the speech for her.
Because she doesn't want to go out on stage.
Where he's just like, you know, I wished I was Andrea and everything. And yeah, I don't know.
And he's like, you know, there's a lot of lying going on. Let's tell the truth. And they're like, do a toast to the truth.
But he doesn't tell the truth.
No.
Because they're talking. He's like, yeah, you know, I cheated on Kelly or whatever. And she's like, oh, you going to tell that to everyone? You know, put that out there publicly? He's like, of course not. And she's like, well, then why the fuck should I?
Yeah.
And it's true. That's like what's going on in her marriage and stuff like that is nobody's business.
For sure.
Only the people she wants to tell about it, you know? She shouldn't feel obligated to put all of her fucking dirty laundry out there for everybody.
No. So, yeah, he does the speech for her. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Then,
Not much goes on with them, really.
No. David is inspired by his speech to come out that he's actually writing jingles and not a rock star like Valerie said.
Right.
So he sings his condom jingle to the whole reunion, which is kind of cringy.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Very, like, it didn't have to be embarrassing that you make jingles, but you had to pick a bad one about condoms. Like,
Yeah.
dude.
You also could have just said, hey, I get paid to write jingles. That's what I'm doing now. I'm not being a rock star.
You know what I expected is for them to all start going around the whole room just being like, I live with my mom.
Yeah.
I'm divorced. I had liposuction. Like,
Right. I did too.
But that
I'm a rapist. Get him.
Oh, speaking of,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I think it was consensual.
She said it was consensual.
Yeah. But Kelly, we had talked about this in, years ago episodes. Kelly had originally lost her virginity to a guy in the bushes, and we got even more upsetting detail this time. Apparently just left her in the dirt.
Yeah. And then went and told everyone in school about it.
And never talked to her again.
Well, so Valerie sees her in the hall, and she's standing in front of a thing that says, Kelly is a slut, written on the wall. And Valerie's like, oh, must be a different Kelly. And she was like, nope. And she was like, oh, Kelly's got a past, huh? And she's like, yeah, you find that fucking amusing, bitch? And she's like, you of all people should know how being a slut can follow you around or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then she kind of tells her what happened. And Valerie is at the bar, and the guy, Ross, comes up to her. And he's like, hey, heard you work with Charity or whatever. And it's like he's kind of flirting with her. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what, did you ask around about me? Or did people tell you or whatever? He's like, I'm married. And so she goes, oh, so you asked. Which is probably true.
Yeah. And then she kind of speaks as though she's Kelly and talks about what he did to her and gestures over there. And when he sees Kelly, he drops his glass on the ground.
He's like, a stupid asshole who doesn't realize that everyone's already figured him out and what a fraud he is and everything. And yeah, he's like, and then he just runs off.
It was a very satisfying moment, though.
Yeah.
And Kelly appreciated it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was nice to see them, kind of bond for a minute. But, they'll go back to hanging each other whenever the writers want. So.
Yep, that's what happens. There is no character development between those two.
No.
It's just back and forth, whatever they need.
And then the other storyline going on here is Donna.
This is the worst.
I'm really upset with Donna again.
Donna's such a moron.
So
And she really thinks that she's good at comedy. Like physical comedy and stuff, like making faces and like, that stuff. And she's not.
Yeah. Apparently she's on like the committee or whatever for this reunion. And one of the bitches doing this has an article about the most eligible bachelors, and she's talking about Noah.
Yeah.
Because he's like the number one
He's
most
number one.
eligible bachelor in LA.
Fuck yeah, he is.
And she's...
That Muppet-looking bastard.
He does look like a fucking Muppet. It's insane. I don't know why. I think it's like the sharpness of his features.
And the flatness of his mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, so she...
Oh, hey. Hey, Donna.
So Donna says, oh,
I have
that's...
6.
God. Donna says, oh, that's my boyfriend. And she's like, Seth here, he's single and free.
Yeah, exactly. It says here he's not chained to any fucking plastic surgery fills.
And Donna, like, freaks the fuck out on him. Like, as though he engineered this.
She's like, what the fuck's this shit? And he looks at it and he's like, oh my God. He's like, this was supposed to be an article about young entrepreneurs. And she's like, why wouldn't you talk about me? I did. I told them all about you. They obviously didn't use it for this thing. And she's like, you're a liar.
Yeah, why does she keep thinking the worst of him? Their relationship is terrible.
100%.
Because she always jumps to the worst conclusion. Now, she is aware that he raped her friend. So
Yeah.
I feel like, and cheated on her, so I feel like that might be part of why.
Maybe. Yeah, because that was like, he's not 100% innocent here either. But like, she completely overreacts.
He's pretty innocent, though. I mean, if we're
No,
assuming that he's telling the truth, which I do in this instance.
No, I do. I'm saying, I think he's 100% innocent in this situation. I mean, he's not 100% innocent in their relationship.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like, most women would have broken up with him, and she didn't. But I feel like there's damage that maybe is affecting their current relationship and
100%.
may not be able to get through it.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, this writer, she must have had her own agenda. And she's like, oh, it's a girl?
Yeah. Like,
It's like-
what the fuck?
Like, he can't be around other women at all either? He runs a nightclub.
And then he wouldn't go to her reunion.
Now, that's the part that I think maybe he's slightly to blame for. Because she's really upset about that. At the beginning of the episode, he's like, oh, I don't like reunion stuff. I don't want to go to this one. And she's like, she doesn't love it, but she's like okay with it. And then she finds all this shit out, and she's like, go with me. Prove then, and go with me to the reunion. And he's like, you want me to go with you for all the wrong reasons.
And he's like, you want this magazine article on your arm.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe she just wants her boyfriend to go to the reunion with her because, like, that's a very normal thing to want.
Yeah.
And it's, like, kind of shitty if you're dating someone and they have a big event like this and you're like, I don't want to go with you. Like, if there was a big wedding or something like that and he was like, I don't want to attend this wedding with you, that's, like, it's not a red flag necessarily, but it's, like, that's a shitty thing. Like,
That's a pretty big red flag, I think.
like, you should be willing to attend events with your significant other, like important events like that. That means something. So, I do think he's kind of being shitty the whole time there.
Yeah. So she runs away from the reunion at some point because they're like talking shit about her.
Yeah,
And goes to spy on him at the club because that's what they were. They were talking about how he's holding court. Who said this? Valerie?
Valerie did. Yeah,
He's holding court at the nightclub for all the
all the
eligible
bimbos
women.
in the world. She's like, on one hand we've got all the bimbos in the world, and on the other hand we've got fucking Donna. So who knows who he's gonna choose?
Yeah. So she goes, and there are women plotting to try to get with him
Yes.
after reading about this
Yes.
thing in the magazine. So that makes sense.
He's a multi-millionaire.
Supposedly single,
Who's single, yeah.
who owns a nightclub that they can go to. So, duh.
Right.
So, yeah, one of them is pretending to have injured her ankle jumping out of a plane because apparently he likes to skydive.
Yeah. We didn't. This is a revelation to us.
That doesn't surprise me, though, because remember he was working in Hawaii when they met him, and he works on boats and stuff. He's, a weirdo. He likes outside stuff.
Wow. Remember, he lived in Hawaii and works on boats. He's a weirdo. So to all you that work on boats out there, that's what Carol thinks of
And
you.
those of you who live in Hawaii. No.
Yeah, apparently the entire state of Hawaii.
I'm just saying he seems like an adventurous person. That's the word I was searching for. Adventurous.
Sure.
It's not weird.
Weirdo, adventurous.
I mean, I wouldn't jump out of a
Carol
plane,
is
but
Carol is an indoor animal, so
I Oh goodness. So he totally calls her out on her bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he's nice to Donna and happy to see her and hugs her and kisses her. Calls her out on spying on him though.
yeah.
And then he goes with her back to the reunion.
Well, he shows up after she goes back to the
after.
reunion.
Okay.
And he comes and hugs her and stuff. He's like, I know for her fucking date. We're together.
Yeah. So the lady who was like accusing her of lying gets to see her with Noah, so she feels better.
Don't you have to give approval to like be in a magazine? Like, don't you think he would have had to have approved that? Like, if someone interviewed me and they were like, we're going to do an interview with you, okay, because you host all these tapes, and I'd be like, okay, and I did the interview, and the article was most flatulent radio host or whatever. It's like, don't I have to approve that shit? Like, can they just change my interview to be about whatever? That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, you'd think.
So I don't know. Like, obviously for the sake of the TV show, it I guess it works. But like in real life, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think they can just be like, we're just going to use this for whatever.
Well, I don't think they can, and I think that's why he was immediately getting on the phone with the magazine. I think he was going to ask for them to fix it. They can do a retraction or whatever.
Right, yeah.
So
I don't know.
And if he did that, even better. Like he should be like, no, you need to put in here that I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So
fucked up. I think that's it. I think that's all the storylines.
Yeah.
It was a enjoyable episode, I guess.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Andrea again.
Yeah, and it seemed like the cast was having fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they had the best acting moments in this episode, but I think
Not
the
at all.
actors were enjoying themselves.
Yeah. I kind of wish that Andrea had either never left or would just come back to the show. Mm-hmm. Honestly, because maybe they're setting that up.
I hope so.
She's getting divorced and then coming back to the show.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, because like I like her on the show, and she's a good actress. I think, like she elevates. Her wisdom and age allows her to have a little more acting chops. I think than some of the other ones.
Oh, here's one. Maybe her and Steve will get together because they're both single.
That would be, they share that egg or whatever together. Remember,
Egg.
Buy an egg or whatever. I'd like to exchange an egg. That's what it was.
I don't remember.
You don't fucking remember that episode?
I do not.
They were looking for a club or whatever.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The code was to exchange an egg.
Yes, okay, I do remember that.
And they went to the wrong place, and the person's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You can't exchange. You can't I can't return an egg. Do you have a carton?" But anyway, so that is the episode for the week, Carol. What do you want to say?
So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yes.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.